All right, so Oblivion Remaster. Here's my 2-minute rundown. We'll start my timer. All right, here we go. It's Oblivion. It's exactly the game that we all loved that launched the Xbox 360 that Elder Scrolls came out with, and it to me changed a lot of my gaming life. It was my first big fat RPG to get into. Skyrim came out, and they're like, Skyrim is fantastic, and they re-released it many a times, but then like Oblivion got forgotten, and now it has not. This being a remaster is nearly a joke. It should be considered a remake. The amount of times that I've done the Elder Scrolls thing where I stop and just be like, man, this grass is badass. Or like, holy cow, did you see them rocks? Holy cow. Combat and everything like that still feels like Oblivion. They even changed to Unreal Engine 5. It's a new engine for them to be using. I don't see the difference. It feels very much like the regular game. I would say for people who are maybe new to Oblivion as whole cloth or Elder Scrolls in general, the combat will feel slow to you, but it makes sense for what you're playing. And of course, I'm going Sneaky Archer. Don't come at me because that's exactly what I always play, Sneaky Archer. It's the cheesiest one, the easiest win. And just exploring this world, this gorgeous world over again, standing on top of a mountain and looking over the snowy sides and exploring every little corner, coming across a random cave and be like, well, I got to see what's inside there. Vampires, fake out, I'm out. That is wonderful. And hearing the classic voice acting of Sean Bean and Patrick Stewart again. And it's like, man, Oblivion, the music. Poor Scott had to go to basically a funeral and I'm like messaging him like, dude, I'm like literally recording my own speakers like, dude, this music's back in. And he's like, I'm a little busy right now. I'm like, okay. So yes, Oblivion Remaster somehow has brought back a game that it felt like it was forgotten and it should have been. And I am having a blast with it. Now, there is some stability issues. It's a Bethesda game. No surprise. And so I will have to ding it for that. But I'm like at a solid 8 out of 10 and having a blast. And that's my 2 minutes. Yeah. So let's run. Do you guys have any random questions before I start generating them?
Yeah, I have a question for you. So I'm playing a little bit of Oblivion as well. And it's a Bethesda thing, but it works at the same time. So Bethesda was one of the companies that forced me to buy the new Xbox because I wanted to play Starfield. I love the games, love the whole Fallouts and all that. But at a certain point, do you feel like, oh, when I was playing Oblivion, I felt this way. But for you now, like, oh, this is great, it looks great, whatever. But it still feels old, and that's kind of like my complaint with Starfield. Like the game still feels like I'm playing a super old game here. Did you ever get that Oblivion, and what's kind of like the feels of you think this is just something that works for Bethesda? Or
that was my thing when I was saying like, if you're new to Oblivion or new to Skyrim as a whole or Elder Scrolls as a whole, it'll feel old to you. But I think this feels very much like in line with their games. I think it's just how they play. And, things are slow, but then you're like fine tuning how your character plays. And over time, you end up developing a character that is a specialist in one specific thing, kind of like a Fallout's really this way too. Yeah. And suddenly like you're amazing. Like I'm already at the point now where I'm sneaking around, arching people or, shooting people with arrows from far away and getting 3 times bonuses and stuff like that. Like crazy. And I still remember a lot of the old hacks to where like, as soon as you leave the prison, you go back to the prison and you pickpocket the guy that was in the other cell to where you get your sneak up a lot, stuff like that. So I'm doing those as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and by the way, I moved over to Xbox as well because it was crashing too often on the PC. So it's a fair ding on their performance problems. So I'm playing it on Xbox now as well.
Yeah. Do you think Bethesda should try to move on to like enhancing this experience that seems to be just too familiar with every single game that they release?
Before the Microsoft acquisition, yes. But now I feel like, no, Bethesda, you do your thing. You keep telling really good stories with the way you like to tell them. And then have the other companies make this stuff that like Expedition 33 we're going to get into later on, where it's a very different feel. And just like let Microsoft have this big umbrella of different kinds of games to where, I think that works well now. Before, I would say so. I think if as a whole, they needed to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you notice anything anything in Oblivion that's been changed? Like, is any of the story expanded on or anything like that? Or is it literally just a reskin? The joke
that's going around online is like they kept the script and threw everything else away. It feels brand new. They had changed some of the voice actors to be more in line with the characters because it was like 3 voices for the whole game. So they added a lot more voices, but they say the same lines. And some of the lines, they even kept in the stuff that's like buggy or creepy on accident. Like they had become favorites where like that one kid keeps bugging you like, I'm your biggest fan. And he keeps bugging you about that. Like they kept that in and stuff. It's just everything's a lot cleaner. And like they have this new automated system or whatever to like max the mouths to their voices so it looks 100% accurate.
No.
It's a little uncanny valley right now. It's like, that's like too accurate almost. But I think that'll be all right over time. It's a first of its kind to be able to do that. So it's pretty interesting.
Nice.
All right, so I'm generating questions. I got number one. What's your first impression when you started the game? Just the music immediately hits you. And that big panning shot over Cyrodiil and seeing the Imperial City and stuff like that. And it just, to see that in such high fidelity, it takes you right back and it makes you appreciate the fact that they shadow dropped this thing. I was watching one guy on TikTok that like his wife was recording him and he's watching the Todd Howard announcements and stuff. And then he's like, and today we're going to be dropping it today. And he's like, just runs around his house like he's a kid again on Christmas morning. And it's like, I feel you, buddy. I feel you.
Right.
All right. Number 5, how smooth or clunky did the controls feel? They feel a little clunky when you return to an Elder Scrolls game, because it is like, even navigation is like, you just follow a red line on a big compass. Elder Scrolls is an older franchise. And nowadays we've polished everything up so much that you kind of forget that Elder Scrolls is an older franchise, and they stick to that. And so I would say it's clunky for new players, and for old players, it's going back home. It's not going to feel clunky to old players. My next one, I already did that one, is number 13, which is, was there a mechanic or feature that you found really clever? Yeah, I really think that the way that like the sneak system and all the different, basically like the way you could like level up your professions or your proficiencies is really good, because it's not that you're just putting points into something, which you do at some point. It's by doing them. So if you feel like, oh, I want to be really good at like, or really good at fast and really good at jumping and stuff like that, then you run around a lot and you jump a lot and your athletics will go up. It's just perfect. And so I think that's something that I think some games get away from, where specifically World of Warcraft got rid of that a long time ago, where you'd have to level up your weapons. And it's nice to play a game where it's like, you could do a sword and shield, you could do a bow and arrow, you could do a mage staff. You better pick it up and practice though. And then that's how you get good at it. And so it's just nice to have a basic mechanic like that put into a game. And 16, my last one is, was there a favorite weapon, skill, or tool you liked using? So my favorite obviously is the bow and arrow. It always has been. The one I like the least is a damn lockpicks. Those are the bane of my existence, man. I'm at the point now, and I always get this way in every single Bethesda game, where I'm like, auto, broke them all, don't need what's in that box, bye, and I walk away. That every single time, man.
Yeah, once you get the money to just buy a stack of lockpicks, that's when you could just say F it, it's auto
yeah.
pick.
And then I even watched a video like, okay, I'm going to master it this time, guys, and I'm watching a guy do it, I'm like, no, fuck that. It's just, I'm not going to be able to master this, so I ended up ditching it. But yeah, guys, Oblivion Remastered, it was a wonderful little joy to be able to, for them to be like, here's the game and it's out right now. That was such a blast. 8 out of 10, easy.
So doing that, what'd you say, ghost drop or shadow drop?
Shadow drop, yeah.
Do you think that is better for the company? Because from my perspective, it brings a lot more hype. If they were to take their time and say, hey guys, in a couple months we're gonna drop it, maybe they would have built a little bit of suspense behind it or something like that. But and had some pre-sales and maybe sell merch or whatever. But by doing this drop, all of a sudden it's kind of like goes viral. Like, oh crap, it's out today. Everybody, there's something you can do right now to act on it, which is get it and play the game. It's ready for you. So do you think it's better to do that or the traditional way?
With this game having such nostalgia to it, yes, because people already knew what they're getting. It was just cool news.
Yeah.
But if it was like an entirely new title, like we're going to get with Expedition 33, if they were to shadow drop a game like this, it would be forgotten. Matter of fact, there are a couple video games that came out the same day as this, and they are furious because they're like, our game is a good game. It's just an indie title, and we didn't expect to be going up against a AAA title. And
I didn't even know of another game that came out.
There's 2 other games that came out. Yeah, 2 games came out outside of Oblivion, and I couldn't even tell you the titles, and I read their article about them. That's what's nuts.
That's funny.
But they had made, you know, these companies, they work on their marketing to make sure they release at the optimal time, and they did. And then suddenly Bethesda came out and be like, fake out, nostalgia, boom. And then there's the other thing with like Skyblivion, this company that you and me talked about in the past, Jonathan, that was using the Skyrim engine to rebuild Oblivion. Their work is fraught. Like, it's, you know, like, I know there are people who are like, oh, I'm still looking forward to it. Like, oh, why? Frankly, let's be honest, that took a lot of steam out of the room. And I know that Elder Scrolls gave everybody who worked on that mod essentially a free copy of the new game, and just as an appreciation for their efforts. But still, like, that sucks. That was, I think, the last 5 years we've been talking about it. It's still not ready.
That's
And
crazy.
I know people are like, well, it's going to be a better version of the game. I'm like, I've been seeing screenshots. I don't know if it's better necessarily. It's not here is the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially if you got like the product now and it looks like the way it is, I mean, and you're satisfied and you're happy, why even explore the next one? I mean, it's yeah.
So
All that
So do
time
you think
just put in
they
it.
would potentially do a sequel to this game now?
Well, we already know that they're working on Elder Scrolls 6, right? Because it went
Oh,
Oblivion, Skyrim, and they know what we're working on the next one. Who knows when they released that little image that we're working on Elder Scrolls 6 way
Yeah.
too early, because that was like, again, 5 years ago or something. And so that was a mistake on their part. But it's in the works. It is fully what they're working on right now. We'll see how that goes. They hired another company to make the remaster for this, which is nice, because it was like, don't stop development of Elder Scrolls 6. That's going to be one of the biggest games. We have that. We have GTA 6 coming up. And those are the kind of games that come out the last 10 years.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do.